And welcome, my hunters. I thank you again. Before we begin, we've got two special things. One, I was able to finally reach my goal of 100 subscribers on my YouTube channel. And secondly, we have the special guest, Scorched Knight. But before that, we always do the introductions. I am the Old Hunter, as you should know. I am a YouTube review, Reddit reader, and hopefully a better content creator.
Oh, hello, I'm the Knight of Green, historical and video game martial artist, recreator of the different movesets of Soulsborne, bosses, enemies, and weapons, as well as the creator of Demon Slice, a Demon Souls martial arts and comedy parody series.
Hi there, Scorched Knight. I make Bloodborne PvP YouTube videos. I also stream it on Twitch. Been doing that for quite a while. That's mostly what I do online, though, for YouTube, for content, if you want to call it that, for YouTube and Twitch. So
that's no worries. We're all fellow Souls fans on this channel, especially on this podcast. So I have nothing. Before we also continue, I would like to say that as for my 100 special, I have done a manga review on the old 2004 Rosario vampire manga. It's a little special thing because that was the first manga I ever read, so hence why I reviewed it for my 100 special.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So, anyway, gentlemen, it's been a very good year for us Souls fans, hasn't it?
Yeah, I would say so.
It'll be better next year. What do you mean?
Gosh, how can I forget? Elden Ring is coming out next year, and I've got more news upon Bloodborne.
Oh? What about Bloodborne news? Bloodborne news? Yes.
It basically... You remember when I said that they're going to basically just port it for the PS5 and not update it via patch?
Oh, what are they doing?
They're going to basically re-release the game for the PS5.
Do you have to buy it again? Or
yep.
If you already own it? How expensive is it going to be?
How much re-releases do normally cost? About 20 euros, 2015-ish?
$25 US usually.
Yeah, about that much.
My question is, would I have to go? Because I'm probably gonna get it just by virtue, but there'll be two questions with it. One, with this PS5 version, can you only play with PS5 members, or you can only play with, can you play with people on PS4? That'd be my first question. Second question is, I'm assuming they're going to be running it at 60 FPS, unlike the dog crap it is now.
Probably. Your thoughts? No worries. Your thoughts, Scorched? I'm curious.
Where did you get that information?
On a few gaming websites that I found out that I should have posted the links. My mistake is just...
No, it's all good. I was just curious.
Yeah, I also heard rumors that it is going to also be coming to the to a PC port as well. That was along with the PS5 remake rumors that I've heard.
I think. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. Yeah, I'm kind of skeptical of those. The only reason for that is just because these kind of rumors have been around for a while. I think it will happen at some point. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's one of those things though. Like people want it badly enough, that it might
come true.
Yeah, maybe. But I think there is enough people that would want it. I'm not sure, especially with Elden Ring, around the corner. I would think they'd try to release it after that, but maybe, I don't know.
Who knows?
I feel like it's going to be, that's the thing, it's going to be in the competition with Elden Ring, and usually FromSoft doesn't like having it so their games would align themselves to be in competition with one another. I think maybe a big reason why Elden Ring might have released so late is because with the Demon Souls remake, they wanted to give at least like a year or a little bit more time to let that solidify itself before Elden Ring. Maybe I'm not very sure.
No, but I believe that's possible. That's possible considering the fact that let's not forget that Demon Souls was a PS3 classic, and let's be frank, it flopped horribly.
I wouldn't say it flopped horribly. It did well internationally, and that's why it sort of just grew from there.
It had
It's
enough.
Japanese, but yeah. But no, another thing with the fact that you said the rumors that they're going to have it on PC. I mean, Sony's very defensive on their IPs. The people have been saying Demon's Souls is going to come to PC. I guess technically it has by virtue of mods and emulators, but
Yeah.
Or PS Plus.
Yeah, PS.
No, PS Now.
Thing,
PS Now. PS Now.
Yeah, Sony's very defensive when it comes to their IP. That's like saying, "Oh, God of War is going to be on PC." Like Sony will fight to the bitter end to keep that away from any PlayStation.
Oh, going back off a minute. You remember when God of War was announced and people were saying, "We want an Xbox release for this game." Oh, that was
I don't remember those old days, but yeah. Did you get the same rumors that it's going to get like a remastered or whatever? For, like, were there still say, like, was it the same place where they said there was going to be a PC port?
Yeah, it was on the same article that they basically talked about there being both a PC, PS5 release and a PC port. Well, the argument that I could say is that one argument I did say was that because Bloodborne was originally made to sell PS4s, let's be frank, it was. The whole point of the IP was to move on out. It was a launch title for a console. So it was, and and we all know that we From fans are going to buy anything that's From related because we're just gluttons for punishments.
Yeah, I'm pressing X to down on this one, sir. I'm being quite.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll happen eventually, but now, like, I mean, maybe, I don't know. It's one of those things like, I could see it happen eventually, but now with Elden Ring, we're pretty close.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to believe it'll happen later, not so soon.
No?
Maybe like a year or two from now. But that's just me. I don't know.
I brought this up with I am Amish last week, but last time. But I also want to ask your 2 cents on it. I've also been hearing rumors that From is also working with Sony again on a new PS5 exclusive. Right now, it's called Scarlet Veil, and that's all we know about this supposed rumor for this new game. Any thoughts on the supposed rumor for this new From game? It's not going to. People think it's not going to be a Bloodborne 2, as much as we all love that. It's going to be like a spiritual successor to Bloodborne. Sorry, your thoughts?
If it's true, I think that's probably the best route they could do for something like Bloodborne is go with a spiritual successor over a sequel.
Yeah,
they tend to do better with new IPs. Like, for me, Demon's Souls, Bloodborne, and Dark Souls 1 are like the best ones. And no shade on DS2 or DS3, I like them too.
By the way, feel free to shit on DS2 all you want. I don't like it. So feel free to just basically have your go at it.
All right, but I've heard like with the Velvet Veil thing. I remember Lance McDonald on Twitter, and he's been right about a lot of things. He basically implied that rumor was fake or whatever. He tends to be correct on these things, but
true. Fair enough.
My thoughts are if it is real, if it is real, my thoughts are that if they're going with a spiritual successor route for something like Bloodborne, I think that's the best route they could take. Yeah. Instead of going for a sequel, then you don't end up with a Dark Souls 2 version of Bloodborne or something, You don't end up with you don't end up with DS3 or DS2 versions of Bloodborne where the whole game seems to be remember Bloodborne 1, It's more of its own set universe, and they tend to be better at that kind of stuff. So that's just my thought.
Fair enough.
I agree.
I can agree.
The ones of everything were the best. Everything else was derivative. Not saying I don't like it, but yeah, that's another thing that I'll say. Considering Sony's relationship with From Software, since they feel like they dropped the ball after Demon's Souls. They're like, oh, this game's crap. And then Dark Souls did well. It's like, oh, we want you back for Bloodborne. Like, I could imagine they'd be like, okay, Bloodborne did well. Demon's Souls remake. Well, even though FromSoft, I don't think they had too much say in the Demon's Souls remake per se. Like, they're kind of like, oh, it looks nice, I guess. But like, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't surprise me because Sony's like, okay, you guys have proven yourselves to be pretty reliable cash cow. So from a business standpoint,
have at it.
It would make sense.
Yeah, considering the fact it's like, oh come on, Bandai, as Bandai, you know, like okay, I want to bring up the fact that I know this wasn't part of what I wanted to, but this was about the Activision cases and the fact that was horrible. Nonetheless, it was horrible what they've done and everything else. I want to bring that out of the way before anything else. But the fact is, with Activision, remember when Sekiro was announced a few years back, and everybody was worried that Sekiro would be ruined by Activision and their meddling in the series.
Yep, I remember. Yep.
I was certainly one of them. I was thinking, oh no, what are they going to do to this game? They're going to ruin From's reputation.
See, I feel like From would have pushed back real hard if that had happened. Like, FromSoft's very by the book sort of people. So I'm pretty sure they'd be like, no. But then that's another thing, because From didn't directly make Demon's Souls Remake, and we already know what happened with the pre-order bonus. Look, I love Demon's Souls, and it is my favorite Souls game just by virtue of it being my first, but I will still be salty about the pre-order
I'm
bonus,
salty about it because I can't get it. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. No, you're good. I kind of said something while you were talking. Yeah, the pre-order bonuses were a little weird. And then,
despicable.
Well, the other thing that was really dumb is they made these weapons specifically for the pre-order bonus, like the scythe and the that cleaver
and the armor set.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, those weapons are completely useless. Like after
they made that on purpose.
Level up.
They made that on purpose. They made that on purpose because they made it on purpose because they knew that this was this. You know what? As much as I dislike Dark Souls 2, heaven forbid, I know there's going to be fans of me that's going to crucify me for this one because everybody can, because no one can dislike for anything for reasons because a collective consciousness and whatnot. But anyway, the problem I had, as much at least with the pre-orders, they were able to patch in the game. They patched it in afterwards, didn't they?
I think they did. Yeah. Yep.
You know what?
I would have rather. What I would have rathered is they just added those 2 new weapons.
Standard.
Like,
rare drops.
Yeah. It's just kind of dumb. They put this time and effort into modeling these things, and then almost only people that pre-ordered can use them, and then they're also useless once you get past a certain level. So it's just kind of like, why'd you even bother? Yep. Why'd you bother? You know what I mean?
The first level. Once you get past the first level, you can just literally upgrade anything you pick up and be better than the pre-order weapon.
They looked cool. Let's be frank. They looked cool, but the fact
is, the scythe looked badass. Yeah.
Why? That's the thing that made me mad. It's like, why would you put so much effort to make these special effects and this design just for it to be useless after 30 minutes of play? That's dumb to me.
It is dumb.
Yeah. Then the Red-Eye Knight set,
which is identical to the Blue-Eyed Knight set.
It's just red.
There is some difference. There's a difference.
How much more was the pre-order bonus?
Do tell.
Because I can't remember.
I got it. I spent I think $150 because I got it both a physical copy.
$150 for fucking red? For fucking red?
No,
like angry.
The Red-Eye Knight. Oh, because I got both the physical copy and the pre-order bonus. No, the Red-Eye Knight set had the little the skirt thing. It's like a slightly redder color than the Blue-Eyed.
Oh god, that's worth $150 fucking bucks.
No, that's because I bought the physical version and the digital deluxe. I want to have it physically, but then I realized I paid double what I could have just for
an armor set that basically just is useless past the first level.
Hey, hold on. King Allant, you get King Allant set, I believe, and that's the only one with a true cape. So
oh, whoop-de-doo, that's worth it. Whoop-de-doo. As much as why couldn't the King Allant set be similar to the lines of the Penetrator set? God, that set sounded wrong.
Oh, no, you're right. I mean, if you want to be PC, call him Metas the Lance Knight. If you want to just say, Yeah, like make it really hard to get, really obnoxious. Oh my goodness, the Metas set, like the amount of things you have to do. You're like, I'm only getting this for one character. I'm not getting this again.
Completely useless.
Oh, is everything okay?
Oh yeah, I'm just saying yeah, wonderful. I'm just pissed that I couldn't get the PS4 5 because A, scalpers, B, too expensive at the time for me, and C, I just didn't have anywhere near me that could buy the damn thing.
Yeah, well, don't be too sad because, like, let me tell you something. I like the Demon Souls remake, but it has a lot of issues that I think people are coming out more so. Like the art design, I really like it, but the thing is, the Demon Souls remake focuses more on like this sort of heroic, like, look, Demon Souls, the one that starts it, like, enjoy it being like upbeat and like a generic story versus like the original sort of like glum, melancholy, uneasy. And that also might be a texture thing because, like, when you look at like the Flame Lurkers texture in the original game, it looks like booty cheeks, but from like use special lighting to make it look sinister with what they got. And now he just looks like a generic Diablo boss.
That's true. That was one of the big criticisms of. I think that it was the biggest criticisms on the coming the release of Demon Souls. God, I hate that name. It's so different. Anyway, the point is what I'm trying to say is that I think I get what you're trying to say is that From had a unique vision for Demon Souls because it did like take the I fought against he's tough as nails. Whew. No, honestly, I've had harder. Because, let's face it, as much as the Flame Lurker is pretty much a tough boss for Demon Souls, he's basically one of the prototypes for the more the fast-paced enemies, you know what I mean? Like,
compared to some of the later bosses, but for the time when he came out, he was...
difficult.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but when you look at the Flame Lurker, he looks more fleshy, you know what I mean? He looks more like he's like flesh on fire.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like fleshy, malformed, and grotesque. But if you look at the remake, he's just like made of solid rock or something.
Yeah, because like the lore is that he was like a dude called Big M, who was a legendary warrior blacksmith dude, and like the hands of God you find outside is supposed to be like sort of like the hit to that. So the fact that he's a melted amalgamation of a dude who turned into this monster versus just like, oh, I'm generic Golem number 56. And also, and this is the thing on the PvP and connectivity, Demon Souls Remake does not have a global server you can join. You have to specifically join region lock things, and that really limits a lot of PvP you can get.
But it could have been worse. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, the way they handled it was not like with the region lock and stuff was not very good. Like
they could have,
because what they did was they made all these like tiny, like so many different servers, right? I think having some form of region lock is all right, because you don't want to fight like 3 seconds of delay or some shit, right?
That's headache.
When you make it so specific, right, to where you have all these servers, you split the player base up way too much.
They could have just done what From did all the time. Just basically do you want to have just keep basically if I lived in Europe, which I do, and basically turn off region, it's just stuck in Europe. But if I turn it on, I can go anywhere.
Yeah, give the option to expand like sort of the scope in which you can like the player base. Because if you want to be with like like at minimum like 10 ping difference, that sure. Why not stay in your region? But if you don't mind fighting the Japs and they're like 0.5 millisecond like delays, choice to choose if we want that or not. Yeah, the Demon Souls remake. I mean, to be quite honest with you, like I said, as much as I love Demon Souls, it's my favorite Souls game just by virtue of being my. Oh,
hang on, we're just having a bit of connection issues. Okay, continue. Feel free to continue.
Yeah, so as much as I love Demon Souls for it being my first and favorite Souls game, I'll be quite honest with you. Demon Souls Remake is more of a sort of technical demo of like the graphical and loading times of the PS5. And, I'm not saying it's bad for it to be that, because Demon's Souls is a pretty short game, but, it's like one of those things, is like, I like the idea of the remake more than I actually like the remake. Like, looking at the trailers for it, like, I still feel, like, emotional, but then I, like, play the actual thing, and I'm like, it's fine, but I don't really feel more attached to the remake, like, than I do the original, if that makes any sense.
I get what you mean.
Even if the original looks like dog doo-doo, it's still, like, I can feel the soul, if it were. Versus this one just sort of like, hey guys, look what we can do. And I'm not saying people don't respect Demon's Souls, but if you watch, like, the commentary on the people who did the remake, they were saying things like, oh, we love Bloodborne, oh, we love Dark Souls. They essentially...
They didn't like Demon's Souls, that's the issue. They didn't...
They pulled more from the other Souls games than they actually did the source material in terms of, like, how they were doing things.
But then again, people were also complaining because when people were... Remember when the gameplay was shown? They basically... people thought it was... People didn't like it was just stuck to the generic for the four-way roll, forward, back, left, right. People were saying, hey, put some of the innovation of the Souls series, why don't you put omnidirectional moving?
Well, so really. There's a difference between the mechanic innovation and the design aesthetic philosophy. I don't disagree that make it so we can not like have to leave stuff behind because like we don't have the space in our inventory. I understand that. And the omnidirectional roll, I understand that. Limit healing grasses so people aren't like munching like thousands of grasses in a PvP fight. I get it. I'm not going to be upset about that. But when you're saying, oh, we listened to a lot of Bloodborne tracks and we made the whole like soundtrack a Bloodborne-y version of the sound, like if that makes any sense. I understand the mechanical changes that need to happen.
Oh, okay, but the aesthetic changes were not a good idea.
I mean, they work. They're not that they're bad, but like if you wanted like the OG Demon's Souls, for example, again, Flamelurk, I'm gonna take him again. His theme in the remake is very bombastic, very exciting, very like, oh, you're like fighting some hero or something. And the original is just sort of like a slow, like, I'm fighting a dude who looks like he's tortured to even be here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, you can have fun remaking a song, but like,
I get what you mean. It's just basically the idea of not understanding the message you're trying to convey in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts, Scorched?
Yeah, I mean, with the remake, like my thoughts on the remake, like I liked it, but it felt kind of like, well, if you're gonna change things, go a little farther. You know what I mean? Like with some of the stuff, like if you're gonna do what you did, like there's I think it's beautiful and it's great, but they some of the redesigns, I'm not a fan of some of the redesigns.
Fat official.
And like the fat official, yeah. Like what the fuck happened there? Like,
forgive me for
what did you? You murdered him, man. You killed him. What did you do? Like
he looks more grotesque, so one could argue that's in line with Ron's vision.
But let me like compare that for a second. Because think about it. First time you see the fat official, right? You see the Tower Knight fight. The Tower Knight looks like 99% the same dude as he was in the OG version, right? Mm-hmm. And then you see the fat official behind him go, what happened, bro? Why is the Tower Knight looking like how he did? And then behind him is this abomination of what they made. Like,
Bloodborne.
Yeah, I think the biggest sin with the remake is they didn't update the AI at all.
Oh, that was also...
It really shows. When I'm going through Latria, Upper Latria, and yeah, I'm going through and everything looks pretty, and like, the gargoyle looks sick, and then the gargoyle all of a sudden flies off and flies into a wall for 15 seconds. It's like, it just looks bad. You know what I mean? It's like, it looks pretty. He looks great. It's like, he looks sick, but then he's flying into a wall for 15 seconds.
I think this is the... Sorry, go on.
What happens with me with the man-eaters? It's like, playing the original man-eaters, walking backwards while flying. In the remake, they're still doing the same thing.
Well, one could argue that this was supposed to be a warts-and-all remake, in terms of basically trying to keep the feel of the original while just updating it with visually and fidelity. But I kind of agree that for God's sakes, just at least update the AI because the more realistic graphics makes it more the silly actions look more ridiculous.
Exactly. And also, but here's the thing, like, my thing with it is, like, they, like, kind of pick and chose what to change and what not to. Like, they didn't update the AI, but then they added omnidirectional rolling. So
which the AI was not equipped to deal with because the game was
not deal with it at all, no.
It worked in Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3 because I can't remember if Dark Souls 2 had omnidirectional thing.
I think it did, yeah. Oh. It was kind of wonky in DS2.
Anyway, I'm not going to count that one because it was a horrible game. Crucify me all you want. I will never stop saying that.
Oh, no.
But, on the AI thing, one thing that I always... So, let me tell you. So, in Valley of Defilement, both the first section and then the Swamp section, one thing that I always notice when playing is, like, in the original Demon Souls, like, you'd randomly get souls, and I figured, okay, enemies are falling off the level, but because the lighting made it so you can barely see what's around you, you know, maybe it's a technical limitation, also an artistic thing, you know, you can argue both, realistic, but then now, because you see everything in its full glory, you could see the dumb AIs pathfighting in the swamp and in things like dang, it was this bad this whole time? Like, yep. I never saw it, but now that I can see it in its full glory, it's like, geez.
I think really they should have. I think they should have lowered the lighting a tad. Don't you think?
No, it's like the Swamp of Sorrow, as it's called, which is the second part of Valley of Defilement. And the original was just dreary, raining, muggy. Like, you generally just feel like I don't want to be here. Now it's like, hey, you can see the whole area. You know where to go. It's like, well, thanks, guys. I got enemies moonwalking off the cliffs now, and don't have to wonder why I'm getting souls now.
Hey, at least it saves us from fighting them and makes the traversal a little bit easier, but it doesn't help that it makes it look ridiculous.
Oh, they don't know how. Like, that's the thing. You go in the swamp and you watch like the big club dudes like run around in a circle because they don't know how to get to you because there's like so much like wooden barriers. And you're just sitting here like, it was this bad, but I never saw it. So it's like, I guess maybe they're like, man, we're not going to update this AI. It's like, I appreciate not seeing this abortion happening with the AI, like, I don't know, diddling itself in the corner.
No worries. And then, what else? Speaking. Well, let's move on from the glorious travesty, as I'd like to call it, of Demon Souls. It was a glorious game, but it was a travesty because it failed to update anything except the graphics and the mechanics.
I mean, you can kind of see it with, I don't know, it's like I kind of saw it with the streams of it as well, like the people, I mean, there's plenty of people still streaming it, but a lot of the people that I saw that were so excited for it to come out, they played it for like a month, and then they just went back to Dark Souls 3, like, like, you know, I'm talking like, or they went to something else, like for Invader, let's say Invader, like I do a lot of PvP, and so I follow a lot of people that do the same, and a lot of them were really hyped and like excited to, you know, get away from the ones they were already doing. You know, and they were there for about a month, and then they all just kind of nobody's really streaming it anymore. Like, even people that did PvE stuff, especially if they played the original, especially they played through it maybe once or twice, you know, through streams, and then after that I didn't see them do it again. Like, they're back to doing whatever they were doing before.
And
it doesn't have that much meat, like, because once you already know it, you know it. I mean,
exactly.
If they were going to do the 6th Archstone, they're like, "Nah, we ain't doing that, bro."
They could have at least expanded it. You know, I know that Miyazaki wanted to make a sequel of Demon Souls. He wanted to do Demon Souls 2, but you know, licensing issues and all that.
Like, I mean, guys, the levels were almost finished. Like, ask Miyazaki, what would you have done? Put those enemies there, re-update. I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about the Broken Archstone?
Yeah, the Land of the Giants.
Oh, that was stupid. They said they wanted to preserve the original vision of the game, and that's why they didn't put it in. It's like, bruh, they were originally going to put it in, they didn't have time to finish it. What do you mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't, like, I don't know. Like, to me, it's like,
Unto.
I feel like they put, I don't want to say, like, this sounds kind of mean, but I feel like they put in as little, not as little as they could, but, like, they just put it all into graphics, pretty much. And
Yeah.
and then a little bit of the multiplayer with, like, the servers and stuff, I guess. And they upped the player limit. They added a couple items, which some of them, like, broke the game for a while. Some of them still do break the game, like the grass jelly that regens your HP. That shit's broken, man. You can stack that with all the other regen in the game. So they added another regen item. And Demon Souls regen is already insane as it is. Like,
remember, Demon Souls was not exactly the most well put together. It was a well put together game, but it wasn't the most stable game considering its development hell. Remember, game.
For sure.
The game was. Remember the fact that in the game, the cat ring. Remember the cat rings in the game. In the originals. In the original.
Oh yeah. That's cute. Yeah.
Anyway, I think anyway, yeah, it was. We can all agree that Demon Souls was nice. It was a good remake, but it left more to be desired.
Like I said, I like the Demon Souls remake, but I like the idea of it more. I'll just be quite honest with you.
That's fair enough. Anyway, let's move on to our final. Let's move on to the topic that I've been Elden Ring, guys.
Okay.
Every day it gets closer and closer to us, doesn't it?
Can I just say something?
Sure.
So this is one thing I was reflecting on. I think it's been said before. There's like 2 curses that people in the Soulsborne community experience. Like when you're like really into the games. There's like 2 curses. The first curse I would say is it makes it like most games you play like feel mediocre. You don't want to play like I literally can only play a handful of games that are not a Souls games and enjoy it. Right? So it's like it turns off gaming for a lot of different things. That's the first curse. The second curse is that after you do like everything you feel you can do in a Souls games, you just want to delete your memory so you can replay it over again.
I know! That's the feeling I think most Souls players want to play. They just want to take a magic pill that just basically flushes everything they've played with the Darcs with every Souls game and just re-go it again because we can all agree the best time is the first time when playing a Souls game, be it Bloodborne, Dark Souls, whatever Souls games.
So, Elden Ring to me is that opportunity. Is just to take a moment, like I'm not even like I don't like find a video. Hey, we already know the lore. Nope, not looking at you, blocking you, not looking at your stuff. Sorry,
the
entire story plot of it already. I'm like, nope, say no. Later, I'll come back later. I'm gonna put you on the side, sir, because you know too much. But yeah, no, I think that's a new opportunity to experience it, and then just. With discovering what's broken, I already know the steps, of a new thing released. And if it's going to be accessible PvP and like co-op, you already know what's happening.
We're gonna all have fun with the PvP for a little bit.
Oh, we're all going to find what's most broken in like not even a week. It literally doesn't take more than a week to find something that's so stupendously broken that they're going to have to patch.
The one thing that's good about this though is if you find the stuff early, they fix it.
Yeah.
Like stuff like DS3, like the reason some of the shit that you see in that game now is not fixed is because some people did know about it and didn't say anything while the game was getting patched. Yeah. So it stuck around, and then since they're not supporting the game anymore, other than the servers, that stuff remains.
Yep.
If you
like the bow glitch and all that.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, there's plenty of glitches in Bloodborne that I think if they were pointed out while they were still patching, they would definitely not be in anymore.
Yeah, true. But I gotta say, like, I don't know if you can agree with me with Scorch because I said this a couple of weeks ago, a few times on this podcast about how. That another game is being released the same year that was also being anticipated. Oh, and speaking of which, remember last year when the most anticipated game of the year for 2020, I think, and Elden Ring. Yeah, and Elden Ring outdid Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. That was something you never thought you'd hear, right?
I need to play Breath of the Wild 1 at some point.
I know. I should play it too when I can. But what I thought, Scorch, was that basically, do you think that Elden Ring, that Miyazaki looked at Breath of the Wild and thought, I want to make a Souls game like that?
I wouldn't say it's. I wouldn't say that's impossible. Like, I could definitely see that. You know what I mean? Like, I could see that. But I mean, there's so many other open world games out there as well. You know, so
I know, but I know.
No, I think it does. It does kind of give me that Breath of the Wild vibe, in a way, like with how they have it set up. So I could see that.
And with Breath of the Wild 2, remember, like, I'm gonna put my money right down now, and if I'm wrong, oh well, at least I didn't bet anything else than a bit of money, that people are going to do some comparisons between the two. Not a lot of people, but comparisons between Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild 2 to see the differences, what both do. I know that Collings, this is sort of like what people like to do to see, hey, let's see what this franchise did, and compare it to the other franchises.
They always do that.
People did it with Sekiro and Ghost of Tsushima, and honestly, I think that was the better choices because Neo 2 was not. Maybe Neo 1, but honestly, I think Ghost of Tsushima and Sekiro were the best combinations, and I'm veering off for that subject. But yeah, like, what's the most features you're looking forward to, Scorched? I know that, and also you as well, Green, for Elden Ring.
Yeah, so other games I'm looking forward to?
No, the features, like what you're looking forward to when you get your hands on Elden Ring.
Oh, okay. I'm interested to see how they evolve from Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and the other games and such. I really want to see like what new mechanics and stuff they're going to add. I mean, if you look at the trailer, there is some stuff that's a bit weird. Like a lot of, I know they always reuse assets. We in all the games they always reuse some.
They're very economical on their assets.
Yeah, but I did see a shit ton of DS3 assets in that trailer. If you look closely, like
and that big enemy,
the crit animation, the R2 poke it used, the
Old Knight curve.
Actually, every single weapon that they showed in that showcase was either a moveset from DS3 or a slightly modified move from DS3. Like even the sword.
Oh yes, it was like the curved Nightwolf greatsword.
Yeah, but there's the glowing sword as well.
Aquamarine dagger.
Is a weapon. Yeah. The move it was doing is a modified weapon art from I think it's the coiled greatsword weapon art. It's the same. Like you lift it way over your head.
The Black Knight great. It was the fire sword. No. The one where there was like blue energy coming out of the sword. I think it was similar to the enemies in the Ring City, the knights, the ones with the dragon shields, where they had that big flaming sword that goes like this.
Oh, the Ring Knight straight sword?
Yes, that was it.
It might have been that one, or it was I can't remember if it was that one, or it was it was either that, or it was the one where you hold it way over your head, like the coiled sword weapon art.
The Lord of Cinders boss weapon?
Yes, that was the one I was talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I think is a bit weird to me. Like usually when you show a new game, you want to show new stuff, right?
Well,
and they're showing they did show new the bosses and stuff. All that looks good, but they showed with the weapons and stuff. A lot of them are very seem. I don't want to say copy and pasted, but they from what they showed, you'd think since it's new, they'd show you the new stuff, right? But that's not what they did. So I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to turn out.
Yeah,
could be interesting, but I think go on.
Yeah, because in a similar vein, a little bit different. Because my big thing is doing the movesets and stuff, and talking about how unrealistic or realistic they are. And if it's a lot of copy pasta stuff, then it's just watch this. The straight swords basically function like they did in Dark Souls 3. The great swords basically like. I would like if they have new stuff so I can talk about it and recreate them because I don't want to do the same thing. Also, big concern if they go like too acrobatic, too ridiculous. Because look, I already did Artorias and Gale, and I'm like, my body just hated me after doing those ones because I had to literally train for months at a gymnastics gym just to get some of those moves down. And my body, I took a look at myself and I said, yeah. Let me try not doing too much of this.
I like the looks of the. Honestly, I like the visual looks of the bosses. They look very interesting, and maybe this time From can actually get some puzzle bosses.
For sure.
And maybe From can actually do some puzzle bosses again. Better, like. Okay, I'll say that Demon Souls had a good few puzzle bosses, like the Tower Knights. Very smart that in order to actually do the most damage, you got to hit the legs. That was pretty smart. Or. You know what I mean? Like,
that's why the Tower Knight was a poster child. But that's another thing. Dark Souls 3, it made puzzle bosses really contentious because like Yorm was all cool, then like his gimmick like made him lame.
Like find our Sekiro and the paneled monkeys. Interesting boss fight, but annoying as hell every time I play the game.
Man, that's why I watch speedrunner strats. How do you guys do this in under 25 seconds? Okay, thank you. I'm going to take this.
Yeah. And another thing, and thankfully they've also learned not to put a giant... Remember the Demon of Hatred from Sekiro?
Bruh.
I hate that boss. I hate that boss because it goes everything against the game.
The only way to beat him is to run away, bait out attacks, and then hit him, and then run away. Because fighting him up close is suicide.
Yeah. Attack, run. I know you're supposed to be a ninja, but couldn't the thing have, like, Sekiro was supposed to, like, be a master shinobi? Why couldn't he have, like, a flaming, like, okay, maybe not a flaming weapon, but a weapon made of pure molten rock? That would have been cool and parryable.
No, can't have that. Well, I mean, because, okay, they wanted to make it so it was less obvious that it was the sculptor guy. I mean, I think that's what they're going for. But, I mean, to be honest, like, we're talking about strategies, I just do the... trap him behind the tree, climb the tower, just let him just throw himself off. Like,
oh my god, I forgot about that. I just walk off the ledge and die.
I am guilty of that as well, and screw anybody who says I'm a cheater.
I know so many people that have done that. It's amazing.
When you're doing the gauntlets, the boss gauntlets that they added, like, you're like, I don't feel like dealing with you before fighting Ishii. Just throw yourself off, sir. Like, let me...
You mean Father Owl?
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, if he's in Father Owl's line. I was like, yeah, let me get you to throw yourself off before I deal with that. I'm still having that flawless the inner fights. That took me like 2 months to figure out how to do, but...
Congratulations. Anyway, moving back to Elden Ring a little bit, like, bosses... I don't mind like a few puzzle bosses, but if they're done well, From has a bad. I get it? Zelda seems to. Okay, I know that they're two different franchises, and I know that. So don't put a halberd in my ass for comparing the two with this. But maybe I'm going to learn a little bit from Zelda's puzzle bosses because they're not just one gimmicks. They're supposed to be figuring out the strategy, like, and just try to copy that. And I know, I know it's supposed to not happen. I know this is Zelda's a puzzle based. It's more of a puzzle based game. Elden Ring is obviously going to be more of a combat focused game. But try it.
The only issue I have, it's not that it's a bad request, but it's just like at the core Zelda, it's sort of like there's not really builds you can have. It's just sort of like, do you have an ability to do X type of thing?
There's a jump button.
You have to account for, like, this guy wants to be a crossbowman, this guy wants to be a greatsword guy, this guy wants to be a pirate. So it's like, how do you make a puzzle that can work with all these different playstyles versus Zelda? It's like, you have to have this reflector to, like, play tennis ball with Ganon. Like,
then my argument is put a puzzle. Then the best thing to do is not put a puzzle boss in the game, because then you're just focus on a boss with interesting mechanics, interesting movesets, and if you want to have like a little gimmick, fine, but don't make it so that it's a puzzle in order to figure out the gimmick. That's my solution.
I mean, I think overall, it seems like From has kind of moved away from puzzle bosses, though. overall.
Well,
I'm not saying totally. You still see some, but most of the bosses like after Demon Souls, like
Yeah.
after Demon Souls, the puzzle bosses kind of started disappearing. You know what I mean? Like there'd still be some, like, but the puzzle is so simple that it's almost not even a puzzle boss at that point.
Well,
after that point,
I guess it kind of worked for Sekiro because it was a one build sort of thing, but you still have to what's the word I'm looking for? Oh god, I'm having a my brain farts. Still accommodate for the different weapon arts or the tools they'll use.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, take for the example the folding screen monkeys and the dragon god. I like the dragon god a lot more than the folding screen monkeys. Not because it's more visually stimulating, and it's also using a mechanic that we've already had a little practice with the Inshin. The lightning of Tomoe technique. So it was a good use of the abilities in a fight.
Oh,
right.
You said Dragon God. I was thinking about Demon Souls. No, you're talking about the Long Boy Dragon,
Yeah.
the Divine.
The Divine Dragon.
The Divine Dragon.
The Divine,
yeah.
sorry.
Well, I was like, most people hate him.
Demon Souls Dragon God. Oh my
god.
god.
No, Divine Dragon, sorry, Divine God, interchangeable.
No, I know what you mean. No.
The Divine Dragon actually had a good trick to it. Avoid his attacks and use the lightning reversal technique to hit him back. Pretty smart. Using the only thing you got to be worrying about is actually getting hit by his sword.
Oh man, that's a beautiful fight.
It was a beautiful fight, artistically wonderful.
Yeah, I liked that one as well.
Honestly, I know because in 2019 not many good games came out. Let's be honest, it wasn't exactly a hot year for games, but I'm kind of glad From finally won a Game of the Year. They're an underappreciated developer, and they deserve that award.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to remember what games came out in 2019 now.
What Call of Duty game was it?
Oh no. Not Call of Duty.
Doom was pushed. They're all the same. We know.
They all blend. I won't say they're the same, but they all blend together for me. Like, I can't even tell the difference anymore. Like,
neither can I. Honestly, I just gave up on the series after. I think it was Black Ops 1. I haven't touched any. I play the occasional Call of Duty game when it's on free because I'm not gonna pay full price for just basically a game that's just with a handful of levels and a multiplayer with just kids yelling cunt down my ear.
That's part of the experience. That's why it's rated M. Online interaction.
Online interaction. That's why it's rated.
I get enough grief. I get enough grief in the Souls games when people point down to me or basically go flat at me for basically dying. I feel like the point down is just basically insulting, and the clamp you're just basically making fun of me at this point.
Bro, that's the mind. When you do competitive, it's like that's just the mind space. If you let the point down get into you, you already lost, man.
I know. Hey, you get you basically take on a guy who's just basically using the cheap tactics to win, and then basically points down at you, thinking you didn't play fair.
Bruh, I'm gonna tell you, Dark Souls 1 had when you talk about point down, like the most disrespectful one was the Dark Souls 1, where they did the finger wag with it. Oh my goodness. When I first played Dark Souls 1, because Demon Souls didn't have anything disrespectful like that, so like when I first experienced the waggling finger point, I was like, what? That's me.
Oh my god. I like how it's so funny they added point down in the remake. It's such a weird point down though. It's like you're pointing at it's more like you're pointing at like the cat that's under the chair or something.
Remember,
you know what I mean? The angle you're pointing at. Like
remember, it's not a true Souls experience until someone basically does a point down, a clap, or basically does a waggle finger at you because they're an asshole sometimes.
Come on, the Dark Souls 2, no way.
That was even worse.
I like the one where they're like swinging their fist around or whatever, like they're.
As we Souls players, we take a lot of grief, don't we?
I'll say someone could call you a bad name on Call of Duty. Okay, get a finger waggle your Souls game. I will find you in real life and I will strangle you.
Yes, it's just basically that was it. How dare you?
You know, maybe that just shows just how finely crafted a Souls game or like the simple thing of just like a slight gesture can like
Make you what? Hey, again, we're a unique sort of fan base.
Oh man!
Oh, come on! We're the sort of guys who we're the fan base that popularized the term "get good, scrub."
Yeah, look. No, now that you bring it up, what am I looking forward to in the Elden Ring? How good's their point down?
Yes, I can imagine it. He basically crushed me with his overpowered build, and then he gives me a point down and says, like saying, "Ha ha, you lose," and I'm there. Oh, you didn't play there. Oh.
We'll throw a rear dung pod and patch a squad on somebody.
That's beyond insulting. That is basically antagonizing the players and basically just trying to want them to find your place and murder you to death.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
yes, I got that one.
Griefing is. Yeah, you know, I don't want to say. I'm going to say this as politically correct as possible. All Souls games have a degree of how much I can torture new people. And I'm trying to figure out how From's going to address that for Elden Ring. They're probably like, you know, we want people to buy our games. We know our fan base is literally going to sit here day one torturing everybody in invasions. What can we do to, like, not have this happen as much?
Well, at this point, they're just going to leave it in there because it's part of the Souls experience, and it's not exactly a Souls experience unless someone points it down at you and basically calls you basically makes fun of you for not being a coward.
Look, I'm gonna tell you. Just pull the Ethernet cable. Dark Souls 2. What was it? Soul Level 1, right? And because of Soul Memory, I was getting invaded by people like hundreds of level above me. Because
Soul Memory was the stupidest thing for the Souls series.
I literally get hit by like a whip and die, and I'm just looking at myself. And they just doing all these. I'm like, yeah, let me log out.
And let's also not forget the fact that even if when you're hollow, it doesn't stop the invasion.
Yeah. I was about to say, I'm out here fully 100% hollow, get invaded by like
full powered.
Gets 5,000. I'm like, yeah, it was pain. Dark Souls 2 Soul Level 1 run is pain. Especially because the game automatically logs you online. You're like, Ethernet cable, I'm sorry. You're going to have to go for a moment while I'm doing this run.
You know, I really, like, you see this, like, you know what's I really wish they put in the game, like, basically, before you die, the character just basically goes like this, just raises up and says, "Help me," and then dies. I think that would basically sum up every single Souls player that's been died by every other player.
Summon failed. We're like, this dude's kicking my behind. Before you get good at PvP, this dude's kicking my behind. Let me summon my friend. Summon failed.
Like, any fun little moments from you, Scorch? Since you are more of a PvPer than you're pretty much your channel's around PvP.
Right. I've had a lot of different, fun moments. I've done things.
Oh,
that
Ooh.
I'm not proud of. No, I'm just kidding. Well, maybe I am kidding. Not kidding. I don't know, but no. I remember Bloodborne was actually my first Souls game, right? Yes, I'm gonna call Bloodborne a Souls game.
It is a Souls game. Don't worry.
I get it when people Bloodborne's not a Souls game. It's like, shut up.
It's a Soulsborne game. It's part of the Soulsborne series.
I mean, it literally uses the same ideas. Like, it's done differently, but anyways, I'm getting off topic. Now, I remember when I first played these games, like, Bloodborne was the first one I played, and this will lead into the PvP thing. And I played offline for a long time, just because I didn't have, at that time, I didn't have, like, internet or whatever. So I played offline. I beat the game, and then I think around when the DLC came out, I didn't play Bloodborne quite day one. It was like probably mid 2015, and then I played the DLC pretty much when it came out, I think. Mm-hmm. But I remember I finally got, like, you know, we got internet at the house and stuff like that. So I ended up trying. I'm like, oh, this game has multiplayer. Oh, that's cool. All right, I'm gonna try it out. So I tried it, and I summoned somebody in the Hunter's Nightmare.
Ooh.
And it's funny because now I summon this guy. He comes in, and you know, it seems, you know, everything seems good. And we get to a point, and then he hits me. And I'm like, oh, what? You know, I summoned him in as a friendly, but he was a purple phantom. Purples are not friendly. See, like, he knew that I didn't know that. And I thought now most people's reaction is they're not too happy about that kind of thing. I was like, oh shit, that's cool. Like, you know, I'm like, oh, that's sick. And then we had a fight. I killed him, and you know, he messaged me like why that happened, and I was like, I don't know. I was like, oh man, that's so cool. Like, this game has like co-op and PvP, and then I tried, like, you know, invasions and stuff, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I just kind of kept going from there, and then eventually started uploading stuff, and then made a Twitch and started streaming, and I'm still here apparently. I still have fun with it. I'm starting to I still have fun with it, but I'm definitely looking forward to new stuff. So I play other stuff as well, but
yeah, and the problem is,
it really, once it gets you, it drags you right in, though, man.
Yeah, that's true. And the fact is, like, I play other Souls like occasionally, and sometimes you they just don't satisfy that itch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the other Souls likes, like outside of From, is probably what you mean, probably. Okay. Yeah. None of those satisfy me at all, really, at all. I
tried playing Neo. I tried getting back into it. I never finished the game.
Same here. Yeah, I played it. I thought it was cool for a little bit, and then the enemy variety is severely lacking in Neo 1.
And the boss and the hit detection is the worst I've ever seen.
Yep.
I don't like it. Like, it seemed cool, but it was like, I hated the loot system. I hated the level design. The enemy designs ranged from pretty cool to boring, but you ended up seeing a lot of the same enemies over and over. Where a lot of the Souls games, there's a ton of different enemies, so it just kind of got stale. And I hated the backtracking that it was in. But I really hated the loot system. I'm not a big fan of that.
Neither am I. The fact is that I never liked I like the idea of like the different stances, the different It's a cool idea, but putting it I don't think there's a reason why Diablo and Souls have ever mixed well together. The point is, you're just trying to build better equipment, but at the same time, you don't want to have so much equipment that you can't figure out what's to use. Because I think one of the many reasons I quit, besides the bosses just being horrible, the hit detection just being the worst I've ever played for a Souls, like second only to Dark Souls 2. The fact is, I wasn't engaged in the story because it was so more obtuse, and you need a bit of understanding of Japanese history. Let's face it, you do. The loot was the one that just broke the camel's back for me. The fact is that I had a weapon I liked the weapon, but the fact is I kept getting better and better equipment, and I couldn't think. And don't get me started with the upgrade system. It's complete and utter mess.
Oh, since it's a loot drop game, you're supposed to constantly like change stuff. But one thing you can do in Neo is reskin stuff. But this is an annoying process. Like, for example, I'm a generic knight dude. I like the beginning knight armor. It's trash. I literally, every time I found a better piece, I'll be like, oh, let me remake it look like that knight armor at the beginning of the game I had. Yeah, it is tedious. I think other Souls like Code Vein. If you like jiggle physics, I think there's Code.
I think there's another reason why there's anime and Souls don't mix.
There was Mortal Shell, which was decent. It's short, but it's something.
Oh, speaking of Mortal Shell, did you see the DLC it's getting?
I have not.
Do the moveset of that and call it a day.
And speaking, go on.
Yeah,
I want to say it looks like they took some inspiration from Bloodborne for one of their weapons.
Of course,
it's a katana axe.
Like the Chikage.
It looks really sick. It's a katana axe. It's a dual wield like katana axe, and then it combines to make like a two-handed axe. It's
so basically.
cool.
And speaking of and remember the first ever Souls clone, Lords of the Fallen, that clunky old mess of a game.
We don't talk about that.
Well, sadly, I sadly have to bring it up from the bowels of the Souls.
Wait! Isn't it getting a sequel?
I was about to say that Lords of the Fallen 2 is coming.
No.
Yes. Yes,
Dude, I blocked it out of my memory. Now
sadly, if you're going to be experiencing this hell, you're going to be joining us. Because frankly, how can Lords of... I was thinking of playing Lords of the Fallen and streaming it just to see what all the hullabaloo was about, and I thought, this is going to be... This is money I'm never going to go see again, and if I hate the game to an nth degree, it's going to be something I'm not going to even put on my computer back. And I thought,
you may as well just watch a playthrough of it.
Frankly, it's just, I might as well just watch a playthrough because, frankly,
I think. Wait. Green, don't you have a review of Lords of the Fallen? Actually,
Yes.
I think I watched it. Yeah.
I'll Google that up in a minute after the podcast. But seriously, I thought, I'm not gonna. I never seem to like Deck 13 Souls likes because they seem to be more clunky.
I just remembered something more cursed.
What?
Somebody donated a game to me. It was Hell Point.
Hollow Point? I've never heard of that game.
No, Hell Point.
Hell Point? Never heard of it.
Hell Point.
Okay.
What's so bad?
Terrible. Oh, I played it. No, dude, it's like Robo Space Souls. Oh man.
Why do people?
If you look up gameplay of it, the idea was it looks like it needed like another 2 years of development.
I did play Remnant of the Ashes. I like that one, and it's a third-person shooter. Go Souls like.
I heard good things about that.
It's a good game. Yeah. It's a good game.
I think the ones I heard the best about were I was gonna say Lords of the Fallen, but that's not what I was trying to say. What was the one we were just talking about, Green? Mortal Shell. Yeah, Mortal Shell is one I've heard a lot of good things about.
Something Sanctuary. That's a good.
Yeah.
That was. There's even a couple. There was actually a couple of new Souls likes that were released. One was basically Bloodborne inspired. I can't remember its name. If anybody can remember that game, that's basically like it has a female protagonist, but its art style is definitely Bloodborne. I can't remember the name. And another Souls like that, basically where you control a little girl who basically takes the souls of warriors and uses them in combat. That was supposed to be a new Souls.
I heard about that.
Someone do a review on Ashen? Ashen's a pretty decent Souls game. Souls-like, I should say. So anyone else played Ashen?
Sadly not. I haven't played it. I've been playing a few other Metroid. I played I finally got my hands on Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Finally.
Oh, nice. I've played Blasphemous. I love that game.
Oh, that's just. I'm gonna play that one too. And I think
actually, sorry, I was just gonna say there's a little side quest with the game you just mentioned.
Miriam.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was kind of cute.
Pretty well. It's you know what I find very interesting. Now people are probably going to hate me for saying this because of contra. I think like people realize that Dark Souls 1 in general and the point after Dark Souls is they're basically Metroidvanias.
A lot of people have said that. Like they're like 3D ones.
Yeah.
I think they're more than that, but I could see where people draw some of those parallels.
But then again, true, you can have a proper 2D Metroidvania with Souls-like combat. So it actually comes to my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, with like the ones I've heard, like people receive the best, like for Souls likes. I'm gonna leave out the Metroidvania ones, but like for the 3D ones. Mortal Shell, Neo, which I'm not a big fan of Neo, but I guess I can see why some people like it.
I don't.
A lot of people like it actually, but it's not my thing. What was that co-op one again?
Remnant of the Ashes.
Remnant, yes, Remnant of the Ashes. Those three are the ones I've heard a lot of people say good things about.
Gun Souls, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Yeah,
funny.
Neo.
Go on.
With Neo, a lot of people said Neo 2 is what Neo 1. But Neo 1 turned me off from ever trying Neo 2. And
I'm not
like you, I'm the same way. Like, the loot system. The loot system completely turned me off from Neo. Like, that's one thing I like about the Soul.
Go on.
Not one thing, but something I really like about the Souls games. You can start with a weapon and end the game with a weapon. I love that. You can't do that in Neo, really.
Yeah, you can't. And that's the issue I always had problems with. Let me think. For those who don't know, a while back, I'm going to just, sorry for inserting myself again, but a while back I was on another podcast, World 1-1. For those who didn't know, I was on another podcast. I know, shocking. Oh, I abandoned. No, I'm not abandoning my podcast, my hunters. This is still my podcast. But on my podcast, we were discussing, and I don't know if he's going to kill me for bringing this up, but we were discussing about an idea for a Metroid game, and we went back and forth, and I took most of my influence from Bloodborne. Shocker.
Shocker.
I know. So the idea of mine was basically like a Bloodborne Lovecraftian Metroid called Metroid Gears of Destiny. That was one of my ideas that I brought up.
Okay.
I thought it was a fun idea. Honestly, I've played Metroidvanias. I even played Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and I've played a handful of the other Castlevania games. Love them, by the way. I love the Symphony of the Night most, by the way.
Speaking of Metroidvanias, I find it funny that the Metroid series has gotten a new entry after like several decades.
At this point, I think the Castlevania is the more influential part than the Metroid have.
Yeah.
Oh, come on!
I love them. As a Metroid fan, I'm really happy to see that. I'm probably not going to get to play it, which sucks, but I'm happy to see it's finally getting some, like...
Shame it's going to be going back. Wasn't there like a 3DS Metroid game? Sorry for interrupting you.
No, you're good. 3DS. There was Metroid Prime Hunters.
Return of Samus, that was it. Return of Samus.
Yeah. That's right, the remake. I didn't get to play that either, so I pretty much haven't gotten to play any of the new ones.
Personally,
I played all the old ones. I played all the old ones, the 3D and the first-person ones. I love the Prime games. Don't you dare sass the first-person ones, boy. Did you really not like them? I thought those were amazing. Like, they have their place. Like, it's not like they stopped making 2D Metroid games. You know what I mean? Like,
they're bad. I'm more of the old school
2D.
Well, I mean, I love the 2D ones as well. Like, I just like all of them, really. Like, I think the 3D ones,
it felt to me, to be quite honest with you.
Felt too what?
Halo-y to me.
I mean, it's still a lot of exploration, though, and you're scanning everything. And I understand what you're saying, but I think with how you progress through the game and, like, the environments, like, they feel very alien and, like, I don't know. And it's really nice to see that, like, even graphically, it holds up fairly well today. Like, the first Prime and this, all the Primes really.
It's a shame that they're not declared non-canon.
I love Fusion, the Prime ones.
Yeah, they're not considered no longer canon in the series. Other M is canon.
Ugh. See, the Other M is a far worse sin than any of the first-person Metroids.
I'm not gonna argue that point.
I've never played any of them, so I can't put my 2 cents in the whole series. So that's why I'm letting you talk about it.
Yeah, Other M is like should just not exist. Like the Prime games are great. I love them. Most of the 2D I said most. Most of the 2D Metroids are amazing. Almost all, like 99% of them. There's one that I'm
Is
I
it the
mean,
first?
Other M is technically, it's like, Other M is weird because it switches perspectives sometimes. So
And it didn't,
a
and
lot
it
of,
used it, and it only used and it didn't use the nunchuck for 3D movement. It used the stick. It used the Wii remote.
yeah, it was a
Mm,
mess.
mm.
Like pretty much everybody, all the Metroid fans pretty much hate that game. So, oh wait, no, I forgot something even worse. Remember, everybody was waiting for ages, and then they released Metroid Federation
That
Force.
one was also.
What's that game? That's an no, no, go away.
Dude,
No, what is that?
I forgot about that, dude. I remember everybody was pissed. Actually, let me look it up real quick. I think the dislike ratio was so high on that. Let me see.
Well, the fact again, I've never played a Metroid game, and I don't. So my opinions are basically moot
Yeah.
on this point. And I've only played games that have been inspired by Metroid, such as. But personally, the sci-fi. I think it's because personally the sci-fi theme never really sunk to me. I'm more of a fantasy boy, so I think that's why it didn't. Don't get me wrong; they are influential and they're probably some great game series, but the sci-fi setting never really stuck for me.
Right.
Not saying that they're bad or anything. I'm just saying that my themes are more fantasy based. Hence why Sultan Sanctuary,
Oh my
Castlevania.
god. It was so bad they hid the dislike bar. Oh
Uh,
my lord. Oh wait, no. Oh no. I found the one they didn't hide. Oh
and
god.
and
This is on Nintendo's YouTube. 11K likes, 96K dislikes.
don't stream it. If I stream if I stream anything that's Nintendo related, I could get copyright strike because they are seriously so.
Yeah, I've heard that you can't do anything with their shit. It's really bad.
Yeah, so don't. I don't think they're going to claim the video just for names, but don't show anything that's like.
No, I can't show anything anyways. I'm not showing anything on camera.
Thank you.
But,
so yeah, but just don't stream it because if it's even a second of it.
I know that it's bad. You can talk about it. It's like they don't want you showing any gameplay or like using their soundtracks or whatever.
Why?
It's really dumb.
Fraud doesn't mind it.
Track instantly. Yeah, you got copyright claimed. Remove the video. We just got it. Like your strike. Yeah, it's like, oh my goodness, guys.
It's like they don't realize that helps their game if people see people playing it.
From that loves the streaming community.
Loves that. From's like, oh, you want our soundtracks in your video? We don't care. Like, I don't own this. So From like, we don't care. And anybody else, they'll be like, oh my gosh, how could you?
Seriously, I bet I could put fun of From's music in my videos, and I highly doubt they're gonna do anything about it because they realize
it's a shirt. They don't care. They like, we love it. That's free exposure.
Like, I can pretty much use soundtracks from any of the From games and any of the original Silent Hill games, and it's safe. Anything else, like there's almost anything outside of that, like
but let's be thankful From are not the sort of companies that just copyright that don't copyright their shit because they know that their fans are what makes them their money.
If they did us dirty, like, From would like From is one of the companies that they know their fan base and they know what we want and they usually deliver. But if they know that balance, I can say that. Because look at Miyazaki, right? Because Miyazaki is actually a gamer. Like, he knows good game design because he plays good games. So, he'd probably be like, yeah, if we do this, we know our fans are probably going to, like, turn on us. It's not like they didn't turn on us for Dark Souls 2 or anything. They didn't do anything with that one. I didn't touch that one. They still mad at that one.
Yeah, but let's take Square Enix and From. I tried to upload my gameplay of Final Fantasy VII. I got a copyright claim, even though it was a stream I did on my Twitch.
Yep, they do that. You got.
Oh yeah, it's getting bad on. Yeah, it's getting like that on Twitch now as well.
Oh, good. I'm not going to be touching Final Fantasy VII if it's going to ruin my channel. I'm not going to touch that game.
I'll say turn off all the sounds. Like, you're just gonna have to look at.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started on that. When their recommendation to people are like they're like, yo, what if it's like sound stuff that's in the game? Because you realize like things that are copyrighted, it doesn't just end at music. It's like it can go down to sound effects, like fucking sound effects, like a sword clang or something like that. It can go right down to a sound effect.
Yeah,
and you can get like a claim for that. Yeah, it can go right down to a sound effect, not even a song.
I've seen so. I'm just sitting here like, really, guys? Like, yeah, you got to be real particular with that.
I would
shoot. And they get mad if you show like certain scenes from the gameplay. Be like, "Oh, I'm in a cutscene." Copy, like you're not supposed to show the cutscene.
Yeah, but
like,
and from you could, like you said, Green, you could literally put their music on the video. You've actually put music on their music on your videos, right?
Yes, literally, like 95% of all the music on my channel comes from software. The other 5% comes from like generic things on my video editor, and like the only 2 times I use songs from something else. Like I used one of the songs from Code Vein when I did the Code Vein stuff. Instantly, this is copyright material. Okay, did something from an anime. This is I'm like, okay, guys.
So you put and when you put basically and when you put on the from music, nothing. No copyright claims. No nothing. They didn't even try to take down your video.
Nothing. Like when I make videos, like I'll get like claims aren't like you just can't get monetization off claims. It's the strikes you got to worry about.
I know, but I'm very careful to make sure that I don't get copyright strikes or claims on my videos. Even for my 100 special, I did not put any panels in the manga, even though I wanted to. I didn't put them in just to be extra safe.
Right.
It ruined my idea of the review, but I had to prioritize me actually having my channel still around and me getting my special out.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have some that are claimed just because of the music I used for them. And that's fine. I'm fine with that because it's like I'm not monetizing any of this stuff anyways. But the ones I never have, the soundtracks I never get any of that sort of stuff on ever. Is Silent Hill, the original Silent Hill soundtracks, and any of the From soundtracks. Like
even Bloodborne. There's like I know Sony partly owns Bloodborne, but they don't touch those videos, do they?
They don't.
No, I had the Hunter's Dream over one of my informational videos that was like, I think that video was like 15 minutes long, and it has it has like quite a lot of views on that one, and no, they didn't touch it, so.
Excellent. Now I know what to do for my videos next, because I think I'm going to upgrade by basically at the end playing any of one of the Soulsborne themes on my videos, so that we can get it going.
There's plenty of peaceful melodies from the games, and I don't know, like Hunter's Dream.
I might use that one.
The Nexus, Majula.
I'm glad.
Like Shrine.
I'm glad to know that from now on, so that way I can actually use their music without me worrying.
Just careful if you're going for people who do remakes, like remixes of the songs. Ask them for permission.
Oh, I will make sure. Oh, I like Vidman. He said I can use his music, no problem, for my Reddit reads. He was okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
So Vinland, like I always make sure to credit Vinland in the video, so that way they can always hit his channel, SoundCloud and his channel. That's all I do. He's happy with that. But if it's the original pieces, I should be fine.
I'm not sure the Demon Souls remake. I think it's fine.
I'm not going to touch that one. I'm not going to touch the Demon Souls remake just to be extra safe.
I don't know if Blue Point's going to be like. I haven't played with that one. I'm thinking about it.
How about you test it first, then I would say it.
To be fair, though, I like the OG songs.
Sorry.
The Tower Knight theme got so hard. I literally closed the game, turned off the music, found a 30-minute version of the original Tower Knight theme. Played like, this is better. It went back in the box.
Okay. I think we can end it here. We've always streaming for an hour and a half, and it's getting almost 1 o'clock in the morning for me, gentlemen. So, all right. Yeah, that's fine. I want to thank. Oh, don't go yet. I thank you very much for all the hunters. I'm still here. I know. Thank you. I thank you all the hunters that have come up to this point. It was a very lovely stream. Thank you, Scorched Knight. It was a pleasure. I left the links down to his channel, Twitter, and Twitch down below. I always do that, so that way you can check us out. And also do check out my video, my 100 special that I released just yesterday. do help me get 200 streams. Check my Twitch and my Patreon down below, my Twitter down below, and my Patreon down below if you wish to help support it. And also check out Green's channel. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring 2.
Anyway, thank you, my hunters, and may the good blood guide your way.
Bye.